a splash like Pimpin'. But you know I am not bluff. Pick him. Big blue, big blue.
It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and we've got a showdown in the NFC North. It's the Lions and the reigning Super Bowl champs, and it's coming up next on Madden NFL 22.
Just off Lakeshore Drive, nestled next to Lake Michigan. That's where you find historic Soldier Field in the great city of Chicago, Illinois. Today, it's a black and blue matchup in the NFC North between the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. From the 6. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
We knew about the great mind coming out of Duke, and we saw the athletic ability and the potential. Watching it all come together and get better with each passing year, that's been fun. He can throw it deep, throw it short, and, of course, take off out of the pocket and beat you with his legs as well.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. The numbers for McCaffrey last week. 2 trips to the end zone and well past 100 yards.
And going back and watching the film, we saw every kind of run from him, didn't we? We saw some power, we saw finesse, we saw speed, and what I love the most, he finished each and every run.
Still 9 remaining on second down. Throwing Jones. And the catch made, it's Tyler Boyd. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, you're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
Meanwhile, Jones' throw here into the hands of Boyd. And all the way down to the 5. A big play there on the catch and run. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
On second and goal, Jones. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Marcus Davenport. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
A very costly sack there on third and goal. Pushes him back big time. And now you figure the field goal team coming on fourth.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
Rodgers going to return it from his end zone. And he is out of bounds here on the return. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
And he comes off a tough opening matchup. Threw way too many interceptions in that game. Definitely not the way you want to kick off a new season. So he said to himself, I've got to throw that game out. I'm going to get a fresh start right here in week 2.
They'll run for the first time with DeAndre Swift. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 6 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown.
I'm so glad you asked for a couple of offensive linemen to talk to before the game, because they told us that in last week's contest, everything was clicking. Didn't matter whether they're doing gap scheme, zone scheme, power, whatever it was working, and they expect more of the same in this game, although they're prepared for some adjustments by the defense they expect to see.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. Man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. Touchdown, Chicago. Evan McPherson now for the PAT. He's got it. They'll see that opening drive field goal and raise it a touchdown, and that makes it 7-3. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally, because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated, because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Second down and right back to McCaffrey. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away. And they'll let this one go right on the outskirts of the 10. They'll down it at the 11-yard line. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here's Fields. Steps away to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 11. Just a 4-play drive that time. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
They haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
McCaffrey following the penalty. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After one, a 14-3 ball game. The Lions with the football here to begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a 2nd and 14 upcoming. Now Jones. And he'll air this one deep for Anderson. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play there on the catch and run. And boy, CD, it's one thing to watch a great run, but when it's a great run with broken contact, it's like a cherry on top. That was a nice play. McCaffrey. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Again, McCaffrey. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back.